Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Burning from my dust, smoking now I pull it up. I won't stop, so don't confront. Too much about to be a grunt. Watch my back and also front. You drop it off, I pick it up. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Bust it, trying to stop my dust. All time say I'm dangerous. Nervousness from within you. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Bust it, trying to stop my dust. All time say I'm dangerous. Nervousness from within you. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu
guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
We went live, right?
Yep.
Oh, we're not live.
Yeah, my internet is a little spotty, so I might start talking and it goes out, but I should be back fairly quickly. Today is what is 19th, May 19th. Actually, I should know this because I put it up. Today's May 19th. Welcome to the news brief. I should know that because today is the election, the primary election for Kentucky, which I think we should cover tonight. Covering it today on the show. But welcome to the news brief. I'm joined by my amazing host. It's exchange. Jank. There I go.
Jank dog. You're cutting out. You got that Temu internet, I think. He's got cricket internet. That's what it is.
Spirit Airlines internet.
I think what he's trying to say is, welcome Patty Don't Serve. Welcome Kim Coulter. How are you guys? I'll help him out because he's stuck right now. I'm Shane Jenkins, or the real J6 Shane on Twitter. We are happy to be here with you guys today. We were considering talking about the Massey race. While he's recovering, how do you guys feel about that race?
You go first, Patty. Ladies first. You're muted, Patty.
You're muted, Patty.
Thank you, Kimberly. So I am, I told Enrique the other day, I would actually go to Kentucky and knock on doors for Massey at this point. Like I'm a big supporter of Massey's re-election to Congress. I think I disagree with that motherfucker on every goddamn thing you could possibly imagine, except the Epstein files and the fact that I think he's an honest dude. And we need more of those in Congress. I wish the bar wasn't that low where you have to be like, well, the guy's not a lying sack of shit. So therefore, I support him, but I do. I think the idiot with Galrine, whatever the asshole is who's running against him, was totally against Trump years ago, and now he's for him. And so that guy's obviously just a bullshit artist. I don't know why they couldn't find somebody in Kentucky who was like consistent. For Trump across the way, but apparently they couldn't. And so I hope Massey wins. I don't know that I have a lot of faith he's going to win, just because, I'm I guess a pessimist at heart, and I just think that probably we're going to lose. But if he wins, I feel that it'll be a win for just fucking honesty, man. The guy is who he is. He's not a bullshit artist, and I hope that the people of Kentucky, look at that and say, hey, we elected him, already twice. He hasn't changed, and we're going to put him back in there. If they don't, hey, that's their business. They have the right. But I really, really do hope he gets elected tonight, and I can't wait to talk about how much of a dick he is for the next 2 years of his next term. But I do want to see him get elected.
What about you, Kim?
You should go before me. I got baby babbles going on here.
Yeah, no worries. I was kind of anti-Massey back whenever I just felt like he was being kind of an obstructionist, just kind of like in the way. Like if you're not like, I know you can't get everything that you want, but you got to play ball at some point and you got to kind of negotiate. And then now I'm just kind of looking back on that take and I'm like, I feel like he was right. And so I've become a masshole is what I would call it. But I'm cheering for the guy. Anybody who is against AIPAC, I'm a fan of. You know what I mean? And I think it is pretty sad, like Patty said. When honesty is like, that's the contrast of it. Like you're like, I disagree with every policy that he would want to pass, but he's honest, and for that reason, I would vote for him. And it's just like that's how what such a state of affairs our Congress, our representation is in D.C. And I'm cheering for him. I bet $20 on Kalshi last night for Massey to win the primary. So I don't know. I think I win.
That's
50.
interesting.
I think I win 50.
Yeah. What were the odds?
I don't know exactly. My buddy placed the bet.
Was it a
for me.
money line or was it
Don't get me to line.
Was it a
man.
point spread? Yeah, I don't even know.
There
Yeah.
was a point spread. No, this was just to win. There was
Okay,
was
just to
ones
win,
where like
yeah.
he was going to win by 51 to whatever it was, 37. Well, I forget what it was numbers, but it was like you had to hit the gap. Like you couldn't just it wasn't just victory was.
I think it's going to be close no matter what. Like I think anyone who thinks it's going to be a blowout is not paying attention. I think it's going to be close within 5. I would guess maybe. I don't know, but it'll be close. It'll be close.
I will say this. I hope that he wins, and I hope that this is a wake-up call for whoever has their head up their ass in the White House or on their staff or what's going on up there. But I hope somebody realizes that America first, MAGA, whatever you want to call it, is not MEGA. It's not make Israel great again. It is America first. It's take care of our homeland, our citizens, fight our own wars, deal with our own crap at home, get your own house in order.
Are average Americans more willing to say that they're not pro-Israel?
Well, I see that's the problem, Kim, though, because I think that saying you're not pro-Israel, what does that even fucking mean? I'm pro-Israel or
We
I'm
had this
anti-
whole debate not that long ago. Don't be autistic with me.
I'm
Get
not.
him,
I'm
Kim.
saying that you can be pro-Israel and anti-AIPAC. You can be pro-Israel and anti-Netanyahu. You can be pro-Israel and anti-Likud party, right?
Yeah, but
Because-
you're moving
and
the
I don't think
goalpost right now. I'm saying, is it more acceptable now than it was 10 years ago? And you're still unwilling to answer that question. So I just I
no.
wonder,
Say again because I didn't hear the whole question. Ask me again.
are Americans more on? Is there more of a anti? Hi, sweetie. Is there more of an anti-Israel leaning now than there was maybe 10 years ago?
No,
especially
we talked about this last time. No, I don't think there is. I
was-
just think no,
Go ahead,
I
Ben.
think there never will be. I just think it will always stay the same. And this was the conversation we had last time. I don't believe it'll ever fucking change. Again, because I'm a pessimist, I don't believe it'll ever change. I hope that Kim, that you're right, and you can fucking jam it in my eye next week and say, "Fuck you, you were wrong," and I'll be happy to be wrong. But I just don't think I will be.
I think she'd jam it in the bum. And what I wanted to say
Okay, well,
is
I didn't want to get crass.
But no, what I was
I
going
don't
to say is,
think
you don't have to be anti-Israel. My thing is this: if I elect, I don't even know who my representative. If I elected Thomas Massey and he goes and they vote for some kind of support for Israel in Congress and they go for that, I might be okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is AIPAC coming in and being the largest donor to all of our elected officials to where it's not even really an option. You don't really have an option to vote for it or not. If you don't vote for it, you're not getting funded by AIPAC. And so that's really not even an option. So what my thing is, if a collective of Congress or Senate or whatever want to vote to send funding to Israel or whatever organically without the manipulation from the PACs and the outside influences, then I'm better okay with that. But they're trying to throw $15 million at some dude I've never even heard of in Kentucky to take this seat, to get somebody who is probably has the highest liberty score of all Congress people in that house, you know. And I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem if our people, as like the broader spectrum of Americans, have a great deal of support for Israel. Okay, I don't. But that's not me. I'm not everybody. So I think without the undue influence in our elected officials' decision making, I'm okay with support. But whenever you're trying to stack the deck against the American citizens and pick who you want to be in there, that's what I have a problem with.
Well, I can tell you that Thomas Massey, by any metric you could possibly come up with, Thomas Massey is one of the most conservative members of Congress in the last 30 years. And if he can't get reelected in Kentucky, something is seriously wrong. That does not make any sense. So I just think that if he loses tonight, and I don't think he will, but he could, if he loses tonight, then Kentucky's got some explaining to do. Are you a conservative state, or are you just a Trumpist state? Are you just a cult state? Because that sounds culty to me. If you kick out the most conservative motherfucker in Congress in favor of some jerk off who a couple of years ago hated the guy that you are in a cult for, but now is whatever. We got problems. Kentucky got problems.
Tel Aviv, Kentucky.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kim?
I mean, you both have already pretty much hit it all on the head. I don't need to reiterate, but I do think the margins are going to be close, and I hope they're in his favor, but I'm not necessarily fully sold that they will be.
I don't know that there is that much. I mean, I don't know what this other guy could be running on. You know what I mean? I don't know that there's that many MAGA loyalists who are just going to say, well, President Trump doesn't like Thomas Massey, so we're going to vote against him. I don't see that. I see more of people saying, you know what, I disagree with President Trump on this one. Massey represents us well. You guys can take your 15 million AIPAC money and scram. You know, I feel like, because I can't really tell you anything about this other dude. I don't know jack squat about it. Say they used to hate Trump, now he's for him. And I just don't see. I feel like this is I almost feel like this is a test for the American people. You know what I mean? I feel like they're seeing, are people paying attention? Are they going to let AIPAC, because that's what it is, come in here and buy this seat? Or are they paying attention? And that's what I feel like with these posts that Trump is putting up about Lauren Boebert and stuff. I'm like, is this even really him? Or is this I feel like I'm in some alternate reality, because Boebert's been conservative. MTG was conservative. She kind of got a little wacky for a while, but I'm just like, what in the hell is going on, man? Welcome back, Enrique.
Yeah, good. I'm stable now. The internet's not going to go down anymore.
Your internet's stable.
The internet might be, but not so much. Yeah.
I was tethering off my phone because for some reason my internet was down, but it's back up now. I had to reset my router. Okay. Look, I was on InfoWars. Can I call it InfoWars now? I was on the Alex Jones
legally
network.
You cannot.
No, you can't. You're going to get Alex in trouble.
Yeah. I was on the Alex Jones network yesterday, and what ended up happening is, we were talking about the Massey thing, and look, I don't have a dog in this fight. I prefer Massey, right? But I also understand how politics works, right? It's a party system. It's not going to change. We always put our wants in there, but reality is Massey is the most conservative in there. But also, look, I think the grandstanding doesn't help politically, right? I'm not saying he doesn't believe, or I don't believe in what he's saying, but when you go against the leader of the Republican Party, and he has gone hard against Trump, right? There's ramifications for it. Mm-hmm. That's just the way politics works. I'm sorry, but that's how tribes work, and that's the nature of the human beast. It's tribalism. I want to cover Massey tonight and see live, But Shane, I came in late on this conversation, but I heard you say something. This race dictates only one thing: the power of a Trump endorsement and the whole GOP apparatus coming after one person, right? Because look, you could say that he's voted conservative, right? But that's not always true. Okay, because we've seen him vote for things before during the Biden administration that are the same principles of some of the bills that have passed now. He's voted yes before and, with Biden, and he's voting no on Trump when both of them are kind of the same. It's kind of the same bill, right? So right now he's voting 77. This is the number I saw: 77% against for Republicans, which is actually a low number compared to other members of Congress that are at the 95, even the 100% of the issue. But let's another thing to be frank about is like why they're coming after him too is the Epstein files, his focus on the Epstein files and his which I think is correct. I'm not that's not my lane.
That's
It's
not a thing,
something
Enrique. I don't know why people are still talking about. That's a hoax, I think.
It's
isn't
a
it?
hoax. Yeah. Well, look, and to give the president credit about his comments on the hoax, right? Is he wasn't saying like the whole thing was a hoax. He's saying,
Right,
hey,
no.
I'm not part of it, right? Which is true, dude. It's just true.
No, it's okay.
He's not part. He didn't sit there. He's like smashing porn stars. Okay.
Yeah.
And you could shit on him for smashing porn stars, but you can't shit on him for
I don't care about that. You know, I don't give a shit about anything like that. What I'm saying, like, unless it's illegal, unless it's like, underage, unless it's girls and not women, I don't give a shit who he's fucking or what the hell is going on with that. It's never been an issue that I cared about. What I'm saying is, the man was friends with the most notorious pedophile in the history of this country for like 20 years. There's a fucking problem with that. Now, maybe that doesn't disqualify him from just being free, but it sure as shit should disqualify him from being the leader of the free world. So I've had enough of this nonsense where, we'll make and let's face it, he could get caught molesting a child in the rose garden that he paved. And most of you guys would be like, well, I'm sure there's a reason why this is okay. Because it's a cult. It always has been and always will be. We know
nobody's
that.
going to do that.
Oh, bullshit. Like, seriously, it's always he didn't do this, and then it's, oh, well, if he did, it's okay. Like, I get it. We all get it. We all understand what the game is here. Let's not bullshit around.
Reno says tonight is a purity test to see if the Israel lobby is still powerful as they were.
Yes, it is.
Now, look,
Reno's right for once.
to talk about like foreign money and people who advocate for foreigners, right? This is a purity test for that because, this is the most expensive, I think, in history, most expensive congressional race we've ever seen. And we're still not over with it. They're still running ads in Kentucky right now. I mean, I would if I was Ed, right, which is the person he's running against. Like, Ed is not a likable character. He has an amazing, he's a decorated veteran, Navy SEAL on top of everything. He's worked multiple times with SEAL Team 6. The guy has a good resume. And look, I can't judge him by anything legislative because he hasn't legislated anything yet. Ron DeSantis is not he's socially awkward. He's good at his job. But will the people of Kentucky choose, because that's who it boils down to, have they been swayed by the $20+ million that has been put against Thomas Massie as opposed to how much money he's put in the race, which I haven't seen that. This is and yes, it is a record for primary election. That is correct.
We all know what's going to happen if Massie wins tonight. Donald Trump is there's only two possibilities. One, he'll just ignore it and not talk about it until a reporter gets in his face, and then he'll just say, oh, you work for ABC, fuck you, or whatever. Or he's going to come out and say, oh, this was rigged. because there's no possibility that he's going to be like, well, we went out there and fought the good fight and lost. You
don't think he'll say congratulations?
No, yeah, congratulations, right? So he's either going to say it was a hoax or he's going to move on and ignore it because he can't admit that, hey, I got rebuked tonight. Because that's what it will be. If Massey gets elected, it's a rebuke against Trump. There's no two ways about that.
We live in a world where politicians are, and I'm happy about it, at least on the right wing, because I see a whole bunch of them that are going to be winning races that are going to be Massey-like, right? What's the guy's name from Texas? I always fuck up his name.
Cornyn?
Talrico?
John Cornyn?
The big 2A guy.
The big 2A guy in Texas? That doesn't exactly narrow it down.
Well, no, the younger cat. He's a YouTuber.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
I live in Indiana.
Man.
I don't know.
It's the AK guy. That the guy dropped out of his primary challenger dropped out of the race because the chick that his side piece set herself on fire.
What the hell?
Well, Harrison Smith is running for fucking Congress in Texas? What?
Jesus Christ. Fuck off.
Brandon
Herrera.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Brandon Herrera is a person. He was a YouTuber, has a great personality, and is an adamant Second Amendment supporter, like a no holds bar, like shall not infringe, fucking kind of guy. And like these kinds of people are the ones that are coming into Congress, and they're gonna sit on principle. Whether you feel like that principle is wrong or you completely agree with it. So yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot more people like Brandon Herrera, like Thomas Massey, even if he wins or loses in this race. What are your predictions for tonight? Let's start with Shane.
I bet $20 on Massey to win, so I'm hoping that comes through. I bet on Kalshi. One of my friends bet $20 for me. I owe him 20 if he loses.
All right. Shane. Patty.
Yeah, I think Massey wins in a real close one. It'll be a squeaker, I think.
Okay.
I want to bet Patty that Trump congratulates him if he does win. That's what I want to bet.
Really? Well, I'll take that. You want 20 on that?
Or we'll bet 20 on that.
All right.
To be paid on the first of the month.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Sounds good. When do welfare checks come out?
I didn't say what month. I said,
Yeah.
Kim, who do you think?
Yeah, I'm Team Massey.
Well, wait. So I want to go on. I want to tell you guys this before I lock you guys into a position. You guys are choosing this. All three of you are choosing this not because you're supporters of Massey, but that you actually see that he's going to win.
Well, I am supporting him. I do support
No.
Massey.
I get it. But this is like a prediction. Like if you didn't know any of these two names and Massey and Ed came up and all you had was the facts of the actual election to go by, do you guys still think that Massey would win?
I have faith that the American people are going to be wise enough to see through the ad campaign and not be bought. I think that Massey has done enough to represent Kentuckians, and that's going to shine through. And I wanted to say that Kim is a huge Massey supporter, and I no way mean that because she's 9 months pregnant at all.
Okay, so I'm going to go against you guys, and I'm going to say I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm just going to call him Ed.
Galrine.
And
look, incumbency is a massive advantage in American politics, no matter where you are. So, like that
that's at least 2 points.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that makes him the prohibitive favorite, but I just think it's going to be closer than it ought to be.
Yeah. I think Ed's going to win simply because of the question that Reno asked. Is that power still there? And the problem is that power never goes away. You know, the amount of money going in there isn't just going to ads; it's going on door knockers, it's going on mailers, it's going on text messages, and it's a constant reminder. And although this is going to be, and I don't think the most that this race gets is a 2-point spread either way. You know, so you have 4 points to work with.
Yeah.
I think Ed wins. I think Ed takes it, and I think Ed takes it probably. I'm going to say by 1 to 1.5%. And look, I'm rooting for Massey, right? I'm rooting for Massey. I'm not endorsing the guy or anything. We saw how that worked for Lauren Boebert, but that's one thing I didn't like. You know, she endorses him, and then like people come after her, including the president. You know, I was like, look, this lady supported you in and out, and she took it with class, and she said, look, I saw the
She's a
what
classy
president-
lady. Come on.
yeah, hand
Always has
jobs,
been.
She's my kind of gal. I don't know what you're talking
hand
about.
jobs in theaters.
I didn't say anything about the hand job in the theater. I was just
You've
saying
said it
she's classy.
before,
Did I?
yeah.
Well, everybody else has. I mean,
Patty
you
gave
know.
me a hand job in the theater when we were in DC. You don't remember that?
And let me. Okay. all
Besides
right.
that, how did you enjoy the film?
It's a little messy.
This
I
is
mean,
like
it was a good movie.
Hey, so I'm gonna check now before we sign off. I'm gonna check when polls close, and I guess like if you guys want to
It's-
join,
5 p.m.
we'll do 5 p.m.
Yeah, I
in
was
Kentucky.
looking. Yeah, there's a NBC. If you look on NBC, there's like a live coverage that says they close at 5
Okay,
p.m.
so
They close the polls at 5 p.m. What do they make all
That's
all
wild.
the black people work until 6?
Nobody
Do they
has
get-
nobody has cars
Is
in
that what
Kentucky.
they
They'll
do?
have to walk to the polls barefooted from the
Assuming that
mountains.
they have rules there to, you know.
So is the? Do you think that the pre 5 o'clock crowd is a big Fox News crowd and not a big Twitter?
The early bird special crowd? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
Along with their applesauce.
All right, let's shift gears here. We're at 34 minutes. I know where we're going to start with the 1776 fund.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I named it. I named it the Complete Idiot's Guide to the 1776 Weaponization Fund. And look, everything I'm going to say here, and I think Shane, because I think you've posted multiple times about it.
Yeah.
Like all of it is speculative, bro.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like I'm going by what I saw on paper, and based on that, look, I've gotten more information than I thought I was going to get. But Shane, let's start with this. What do you think about this 1776 weaponization fund?
It's an interesting thing. Like I heard Ronnie was talking to Sandlin was talking about some stuff, but what I thought this is what I thought was really weird is that from what maybe I'm wrong that it's the DOJ, I guess through the Treasury is dispensing the funding is what I'm assuming. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But since when do you give the abuser money to disperse to the abused? Like, how do you do? Like, here's some
Good
money.
question.
Pay these people that you fucked over and ruined their lives, and like determine how much they deserve. I just thought. I mean, I love that. I don't know who decided to make it $1.776 billion. I love that.
Oh, the president for sure.
Yeah, but I am thankful that people have been really and from standing the gap. We actually had to shut down our emergency funding because so many people were requesting funding and we just couldn't keep up with it. So we're like, look, until we catch up with some of this, we're going to have to put this on hold. And so I'm thankful that there is hope. Like, it didn't hit me really until this morning. And I was like, it came out, I guess, 2 days ago. And I was like, I've been posting about it, a lot of traction on social media about it. People want to talk about it. But it hit me this morning. I was like, damn, we're going to get... And it may not be as much as we think, or it might be more than we think. I don't think it's going to be more, but there's actually going to be a payout. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, and it's there. It is a breath of fresh air. I am thankful that, Trump decided to drop that lawsuit and start this fund. A lot of people don't appreciate President Trump and he is behind the scenes. Patty probably would disagree with it. Behind the scenes, he's a very.
Why do you think I full screened you? So we won't have to see Patty's fucking face right now.
Because I'm like, oh God, President Trump, they need to take a shower. But no, I'm thankful for it. I'm hopeful that there's a lot of men and women that are hurting, and I'm thankful that hopefully I'm not saying I thank God that I've been sober for almost 2 months, because they threw some money in my lap when I was at a hot mess. That would be like throwing gasoline on a dumpster fire. But
no, see, that's Shane. I'm glad you brought that up, because this is important. As soon as I heard about this, I was like, I thought of the Chappelle Show sketch back in the day when they gave all the black people reparations. And everyone went and did stupid shit with the money, and the richest guy in America was some guy Tyrone Jenkins in fucking in the Bronx. And I fucking laughed my ass. I'm like, when they give you motherfuckers money, the stupid shit you will do with it will be so much, it'll be worth it. Fuck it. I have no problem. As a matter of fact, I hope it's like $8 billion they give to you idiots, because you'll all be dead in a week. And I can't wait to see the straight up stupid shit you come up with.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Oh my God. I don't think we will have to imagine, because I think it's actually going to happen. This
No,
is
can you-
better than
Why the
comedy.
War Boys
It's
NewsBrief always
beautiful.
turns into a roast.
Yes. Can
I
you
can't
imagine?
fucking wait. Shane's gonna be fucked up in about 3 minutes. Like, don't even worry about it. You know?
Can
Like,
you
it's
imagine Jake
crazy.
Lang? Can you imagine Jake Lang with that
Ronnie
money?
Sandlin.
It'll be a giant. It'll be like a fucking giant 15-year-old bikini clad contest.
And somehow Pam Tifa will end up with some of this money, and she'll do some crazy shit too. I don't even know what it'll be, but I just want to see what's gonna happen. But
So,
yeah, this will be
let's
an
get
amazing
serious.
disaster.
Let's get serious here for a second, at least.
I am serious.
No, so for those that don't know, and I think everybody in here would probably know, the 1776 fund, weaponization fund, came from a lawsuit based. Trump sued the IRS because there was an IRS agent, I guess that's what you call them, that leaked his tax documents. So Trump sued for $10 billion during the Biden administration. And so the person that leaked it went to jail for this. They went to prison for leaking this information.
Did they? How much time did they get?
I don't
5 years,
know.
man.
I think it was
5
like, yeah.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Sorry. And what ended up happening is he settled, not for personal money, but he settled for this fund, for the IRS to create this fund where they pay out victims of weaponization. The settlement came down to $1.776 billion in funding. And we've seen 3 days ago, we were purely speculating on this because it was just news. Hey, Trump's going to sign this, and this is going to happen. And it happened rather quickly in 3 parts. The very next day, the deal was signed. This morning, we're starting to see paperwork on what that looks like. And there's multiple pillars that this stands on. And I kind of want to address those pillars. So let's start with the main one. Who's eligible for this fund? And I'm going to speculate that it's anybody that was a victim of weaponization, not just J6ers, although J6ers do have the lion's share when it comes to the amount of people that were persecuted. I think included in there is going to be COVID doctors. It's going to be Christian moms, Christian families. Catholics that were weaponized against, anti-abortion activists like Beverly.
Not Patty, but other Catholics.
Not Patty. Well, look, almost Patty.
The real Catholics.
I think they would have came for Patty.
Yeah, they sure would come for Patty.
So right now,
I feel like I should be able to make a claim. They fucking subpoenaed my ass. Like I think
that might.
I'd come for Patty. I came for whatever.
That's so fucking weird.
No homo.
We're gonna pretend that never happened and just move on.
Sorry.
There's 1,575 J6ers.
Oh, the Loudoun County moms too. Don't forget about them. The ones that were protesting the transgender boy being in the girls' bathroom. The FBI was stalking them as well.
Correct. So I think realistically, after the 1,575 J6ers, we're looking at about I think a low number is 2,000 people total, including J6ers, and I think a very high number would be 2,500.
Yeah.
You think those estimates are there, Shane?
And I think you got Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Roger Stone. You've got a handful of others that are,
Well, look, I love Roger, and I love General Flynn, but the problem that you have is there's specific language in here that says the Biden administration, right? And if you look at Roger's situation and General Flynn's situation, it happened before that. Do they apply for this? I don't know. If I was a betting man, I'd say no. Do I think that they deserve some type of compensation? Absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of people during the Biden administration that were, went to prison, did time. Shane, how long were you locked up?
1,418 days or 46 and a half months.
46 and a half months. So you were stuck there almost the entire 4 years since January 6th. So there's situations like yours, which brings me to the next point is how do they, and this is, I think, the most difficult question. How do they determine, loss? And how do they pay out that loss? Well, let's not get into how they pay out that loss yet, but what's the determining factors? And let's start with this, just historically with the government. They are going to take the easiest path, right? There's 5 people set to this committee that's going to be making these decisions. One of them has to be approved by Congress. It's yet to be seen whether it's approved by some type of committee or subcommittee or an entire House vote. Regardless of the fact, if that person needs to get confirmed, I think it would be a vote, right? I'm saying between the 5, if they're doing payouts or how these payouts are concerned, if we have to get some type of rhino in there, or maybe even some type of leftist, I think they're outnumbered, regardless of congressional oversight or congressional voting. So the easiest path forward is one of 2, but I won't mention those yet because I'll mention the one that people are thinking, a lot of people I hear in the J6 community talking about. How do you calculate loss? And, do you think the government's going to go ahead and start doing calculations? Well, I lost my house, I lost my car, and I see all of that, but let's be honest, the government's not going to sit there and get a committee and sit there and be like, okay, this guy lost more than this guy, because maybe, look, I did 3 years and Shane did 4, but maybe somebody that just did 10 days, their losses are probably more astronomical than ours. If you take off the fact that we were in prison, they probably lost their career, their kids.
I think you have to have a scale, and I've been putting some thought into this, and I was kind of looking at almost label it I called it disability, right? If you have, your limited disability, you can't use your left hand, so you're 10% disabled or whatever it is, right? I think you have to have factors, whether it was how much solitary confinement you went to jail? Yes. Did you do solitary confinement? Did you do prison time? Were you denied access the guys in DC had 2 years with no visits with their family? Were you denied? And some of those rights are basic rights that are really that they could litigate in court that would be punishable really outside of this whole thing. I did some research earlier about this Keeps Eagle, the thing that Obama did.
Yes.
That was kind of the precedent that they're using. And these people that received a payout from that were no longer able to continue. If we were say, well, we receive our payout from this DOJ fund now, I'm going to continue my lawsuit. That's not how it works. You discontinue your lawsuit. This will be it. If you take this payment, it's over with. And so I think you have to have, I can't say that somebody that lost a job or was canceled or kicked out of their church and was charged with 4 misdemeanors, got arrested, was released the same day, I just can't see them receiving the same payout as somebody that did 3 years or was sentenced to 22 years or did solitary confinement time or 5-month trial or what, like these things there are like these factors that I believe and I think it's kind of maybe on us. Like, I feel like we should take the initiative and try to kind of categorize or classify people and say, look, like even outside the realm of J6, whether it's the Catholics or the soccer moms in Loudoun County, I think you have to kind of, it's difficult to quantify because people, emotional, mental suffering, like how much did your family suffer?
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors to it.
Now those,
Go ahead.
and that's what I'm talking about, Shane. Like everything that you're saying makes sense, right? But the problem with making sense like that is that the government is an entity. And it has to disperse it. And when you make it that complicated, they're not going to do that. Now, there's a hybrid of what you're talking about, and then there's one solution that's very simple. The solution that's very simple is just allocate this much money to somebody that was weaponized, right? Whether it be whatever, 100,000.
You're approved, you're denied. If you're approved, you get X amount of dollars.
Exactly.
Period.
That's the easiest way to do it. But I don't think the government's going to do that. I think the government's going to take a hybrid where, like, example, what you just said, you said, did you get arrested? Did you get indicted? Were you in solitary confinement? I think the solitary confinement is not going to be a checkbox. It's going to be like, hey, did you go to jail? Yes.
Right.
Did you do time? How much time did you do? And we'll calculate it per day or whatever. And
Show me on the doll where he touched you, and then depending on you
in the
get
movie
a certain
theater.
amount of money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So another reference to Jake Lang. So I think it's going to boil down to the ease of disbursements, and something that I'm going to say, and I think most people know, and I think the DOJ and I don't the 5 people that are going to be doing this, I think they're going to have to start with the realization that you can't make everybody happy. No. That if you go ahead and you pay the people that did time, right, more than people that did no time, you're going to have a large portion of at least J6ers, because that's really the only ones I could speak to. You're going to have a large portion of J6ers that are going to fucking rage against the machine and be like, no, whatever, I lost this, I lost that. And it's fair to say that. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying the dilemma for the DOJ or this group of 5. And then if you do the opposite and you do, well, we're going to pay out, evenly, you're going to have these people that are very loud, because usually the people that are very loud in the J6 community are the ones that did the most time.
Yeah.
And they're going to go ahead and they're going to be very loud about them getting less.
Can I give you a theory, an idea that I have, and I think you can kind of simplify. I think there's a couple of solutions. I think we need to have like a lobby. I think there needs to be like a J6 kind of a representation that is kind of like if we organize and gather people and be like, and this is kind of my idea is like, and that's not my, I don't care about that. But my thing is with this disability thing, if you just say the people that just minimal time, minimal stress, you were classified a J6er, you were on the FBI watch list, whatever, not really any jail time, I would say like 10, 15, 20% disability, right? So what I like to look at is like, let's say there's 1,776 victims of the weaponized government, right? So there's 1,776 full shares, which would be $1 million a share, right? So if you say they're 20% disabled, they get $200,000, right? The other 800,000 rolls back into the fund. And then you just kind of go, and I think if you look, this is just an estimate. If you look at J6ers, this is a high number. People that did extended period, let's say would be over a year in jail. I would say it's probably in the neighborhood of 300 people, I would guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe 2 years. Let's say 2 years. At least 2 years in jail, I would say is like 300 people. I would say the mid-range group that did maybe up to like 4 or 5 months in jail would probably be like another 300, right? So that's
you could use a 365 roll.
What's that?
You could use a 365 roll if you got under a year and you got over a year.
You're like, you're 25% if you did under a year, 50% if you did over a year, and then if you did like over 3, you're at the 100%. But I think that kind of would, because if somebody was minimally attacked, you might have got canceled, might have got kicked out of your church or whatever. You're still going to get $250,000. I think that's a decent deal. I think if you're 50%, you're still going to get $500,000. If you're 100%, you get $1 million plus maybe the extra share that those other people are putting back into the pot. I think there is a way to do it fairly simply. I think you just have to, like you're saying, check boxes and say, did you do solitary confinement time? Did you, and it's difficult, and it's hard to quantify suffering or mental anguish or these things being canceled or whatever it is that people went through. But I think that if we do the legwork for them, I think we could present, like, even if it's just the J6 community that gets organized, like how much time did you do? How much, if we kind of quantify some of this and do the legwork for them, I think it might be helpful. And then if we had a lobbyist to go be a mediator between these 5 voters, or even the other communities, whether it's the Catholics or the soccer moms or whoever.
Well, hey Shane, if you're gonna start a PAC or start a lobbyist group, can you call it a JPAC?
JPAC, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I think
Jewish
JPAC would be a good name for it.
Jewish political. Oh, wait, they already have that.
That's the whole point.
Reno says, "Does Ray Epps and Bertino get money?" And listen, this is kind of the issue with like advocating, and I don't, when we were locked up, and our J6 advocates, our amazing advocates, were out there like lobbying for our pardons. Mm-hmm. They knew, most of them knew that they had to take the position of pardoning all. Not one, right? Or not certain circumstances. They needed to move the field goal. The 50-yard line had to be at the 100-yard line, so they could, if it didn't happen, which it didn't, because we had the commutations, and thank the DOJ and thank Trump that we are getting those sentences vacated. We have to push for Bertino. We have to push for Ray Epps. We have to push for like all those people to get this money too. You could complain about it later, but I think it's important that we take the position that every J6er needs to be able to get some type of funds. The amount of funds, like maybe there's a checkbox there. Hey, you turned state, you fucking negative fucking 90%, you get like he said, you get $50 a banana and a pack of Newports. Thanks.
And a mule.
I mean, again, like Shane said, that's like the DOJ saying, "Hey, you cooperated with us, so now we penalize you." Like, that's, how the fuck do you do that?
Be like, you broke week, bitch. You don't get shit. Get the fuck.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna tell, because I put this in a couple of the J6 chats, and I'm gonna tell to J6ers that are watching this. Look, stop arguing in public about fucking money. Money ruins communities and it ruins groups. In the Proud Boys, as soon as I became the chairman, I took away the ability for the entire organization to raise money in its entirety. In this case, you shouldn't be fighting publicly. If you want to like argue about stuff, just say in the chats. I will tell you what position I'm going to take, no matter how this plays out. Whether it's equal distribution, whether it's distribution more for people who did more time, or like, look, let's be honest. If they were to pay out based on sentences, I'd be the one that gets the most money, right? So that would benefit me, but I'm going to take this position. I don't care how this gets dispersed. At the end of the day, I'm going to advocate for a certain way that it gets dispersed, but I won't care about the results, because at the end of the day, it's nobody's fault but the Biden administration and Merrick Garland that this even happened to these people. The fact that we're talking about this and there's 1,575 individuals, right, is ridiculous, and it's not somebody else's fault. That the same government that fucked you over is the same government that's choosing, to compensate you for it, which I'm thankful for. So I'm not going to take a position against another J6er because the government decided that this is how it's going to go. And I'm not going to take position against the government on how those, as long as the disbursements happen and they're considerable, I'm okay with it, because I'm not going to go against any of you, whether you took a plea deal, whether you have a misdemeanor. I'm not going to take a position against you guys. And I suggest that you don't take a position against others.
I
because
disagree, Enrique. I
Yeah, go
have to take a position against some people because this conversation it sparked something deep inside of me, and I forgot we were talking about this very subject in the DC Gulag, and there were people who bet me like a 25% share of whatever lawsuit or whatever it was that we won at the end of all of this. And I just now remembered that they bet me that. And so that there was going to be payouts. And I was like, I guarantee you there's going to be a payout. And when there is, you're wrong. You're going to owe me 25% of it. And so I've got to figure out who these people are. So if you're watching this live stream, I'm pretty sure Kelly Meggs was one.
Tax man is coming.
That's right. That's right. You know, I'm sorry to interrupt. I am thankful that, man, you know, people suffered unduly. It would have been one thing if they came in and said, you know what, you guys tore up the damn building. You're going to do 6 months in jail, or, you know, you guys organized and you got all your people. You called all your people to D.C. and tore shit up. Like, you're going to pay some fines. You're going to do some community service. Y'all are going to be painting these buildings and doing this, that, or the other community service, which would have been probably healing for the community in America and stuff like that. But instead, they came full bore, labeled us domestic terrorists, all this stuff, you know, tier 1 anti-government extremists, which is the top of the cream of the crop as far as terrorists go. And, you know, I just think that, I don't know, I am hopeful that this can heal some people's lives. I know that these scars that people suffered from this are going to be hard to go away. I know people are still messed up about it and still suffering.
Well, to some people that you just know, like Matthew Perna, right, and everybody who took their lives after J6, you can't fix that with money.
No.
You know, you can't fix that with money. And I've said this. J6ers have stood on 3 pillars. One of them is the pardons themselves. The second one is compensation, right? And I think pillar 1 is almost complete, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're looking into pillar 2. And I think, look, pillar 3, I don't think anybody that's serious is going to see accountability, like real accountability. Maybe look, Todd Blanche has done, look, I've been a very, I've said things about Todd Blanche before, but I think he's doing a great job now. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. Right. But the accountability is the third pillar that we stand on. And I don't think that we'll see like the prosecutors, the judges, members of Congress, and any other lobbyist group that was lobbying to put us away. I don't think that we're going to see that unfold. So I guess there's another thing is how they're going to pay it out, like how physically they're going to transfer the money, how fast it goes. And there's some answers to those questions too. It says that within 60 days, the DOJ has to give the Treasury some insight on how this is going to work and begin to pick the 5 individuals that are going to be picking, the 5 individuals that are going to be I guess working this entire thing, from who gets approvals, how it works, what the payouts are, and these 5 people will be tasked with that. I think we're going to be surprised at how some of the people, who some of these people are within this committee, right? I think that a couple of them are going to be well-known names, good names. Put me on there, Coach.
What do you think about Ed Martin?
Maybe it has to be outside the DOJ. I would like Ed Martin, but funny that you say that. I'm going to bring up his tweet on this because he's been tweeting about it actually for over like 2 weeks. And I'll go ahead and read. To the survivors of political weaponization, the lessons of the last few days is to never stop fighting, never stand down, never disarm, and follow the lead of President Trump, who never stops fighting. There have always been three priorities: expose the truth, hold the evildoers accountable, and protect, renew the survivors of political weaponization, which is crazy because that's kind of what I just said. Remember this every day. Take advantage of every opportunity and never give up. Without losing faith in your fellow man, never trust those in the government who say, don't fight, take it easy, be patient. They are lying.
That's right.
And Ed brings a very good point here, and I think these are pretty cool words from Ed. The reason why this is happening, right? The reason why we got pardons is because there was people out here fighting for us. And they never stopped fighting, even when people said, hey, maybe we shouldn't talk about these J6ers. And the reason why we got the commutations turned into vacation, like a vacated sentence, is because we never stopped fighting. The reason why we have the 1776 weaponization fund is because we never stopped fighting. We took it to them. We don't stop talking about it. We continue to talk about it. So any J6er that says, oh, we should stop talking about it, like, fuck off. Okay? It gets results. The pressure gets results. And then that goes into, like, so many other avenues. So, Shane, I think you have a good idea. Start like a citizens board, at least, of J6ers, and maybe within Truth and Light. I don't know if you're in Truth and Light. Do like an audio chat and talk about, you know, what everybody's feelings on it, and maybe we put together like a document that recommends, you know, kind of like that. What was that Project 47? Project 47. What's that shit that they were? 2025.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, where it's just a document like, hey, this is how you should do it.
Right.
Right. I think that would be a good idea. Maybe we put that together.
I like that.
Yeah. If
I
there's
just
any
wish there was a
questions-
way that we could figure out how to put you back in prison. Really, for anything. I mean, I don't care what it is. You know, not Shane, but like you
Right,
just
no.
specifically.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
he's Black Hilling up there eventually. It's fine.
Hey, Kim, did you disconnect? Kim disconnect?
No, just kids walk into the frame, so I didn't want them to be visible. I'm
Oh,
right.
okay. Okay.
You're ashamed of your children? Wow. Kim.
Wow.
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 Her water broke. She's having a child.
I know I've been quiet on social media lately. It's been for multiple reasons. I'm not going to talk about it. But regardless of the fact,
What is it? Let's hear it.
but regardless of the fact, I think we all need to get loud and we need to start talking about this and, you know, show your things, but please don't argue about money with other fucking J6ers or other people that have been weaponized against. Just don't do it.
It's not classy.
Any last thoughts on this? Kim, do you have any thoughts on this?
I have no thoughts.
Patty, what do you think? You know what? I haven't asked you. What do you think about this fund in general?
I think that there are definitely people, yourself included, who got done dirty by this whole thing, who deserve compensation. And so I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to get it. I'm saying I think that
The process.
Trump is doing this for the wrong reasons. It may be the right thing for the wrong reasons, in which case I'd say, okay, fuck it. Go ahead. I think there are going to be some people, because it's a government program, there are going to be some people who don't deserve it who are going to get money. There's nothing really to be done about that. It's going to happen. But I don't think that means you shouldn't do anything, right? So it's the same situation as, like, you know, there are people who take who take advantage of WIC checks or food stamps or whatever the fuck, welfare. It's going to happen. That doesn't mean you don't give it to anybody, right? So yeah, I get it. There are people like yourself, like Joe, Ethan, you know, not necessarily Shane, but, you know, other people who should get some money. And, you know, honestly, I think of a guy like Joe Thomas, who I interviewed a couple of times, who didn't do a long time in jail, but got sentenced to 5 years. He got, you know, out when Trump got reelected, who definitely his family is going to benefit big time from any amount of money they give because, you know, they were in a bad situation in the first place. So, yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I think on the whole, I just wish it was being administered by somebody other than the people who are almost certainly going to be in charge of it, because I think they're going to give you like 20 million bucks and fuck a lot of other people. And that's probably not the best idea. I just hope that you will redistribute that money, because I know as a
I was gonna say,
Cuban,
isn't that trickle down economics?
as a born communist, you will redistribute wealth as best you can. And I'm sure you'll do it the right way. So I have faith in you, Enrique, and that's why I say it's okay.
I know you said that partially jokingly, but you did mention in the beginning, and you brought up a point that I wanted to bring that I forgot. Democrats should be scared about, leftists should be scared that a bunch of J6ers are going to get money, right? Because it's different than any other group getting money, specifically the J6ers. We see a lot of passion within the J6 community, right? And I think that you're going to see a lot of these J6ers receive this money, depending on how much it is. And you're going to see a lot of people use this in some type of philanthropic way. They are going to either start, and it's going to be something. It's going to be something in the political realm, the political realm. And I think a lot of them are going to do it. I think this money is going to, I think this money also is going to destroy some lives of people that have never had this much money, right? Whatever it may be.
We're going to spend it in a methanthropic way.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a fucking problem.
I hope not, but the reality is that there's a lot of people, a lot of personalities, and a lot of things. But I think that a lot of people, like Barry, for example, we were talking about this yesterday, and Barry's
you can't give Barry money. Don't
Barry's
fucking give Barry money.
Barry's like, I'm going balls to the wall against like the BOP. I'm going balls to the wall against like he's gonna use it. He's gonna use it to further his cause.
Yeah.
And I think that that's going to happen with a lot of J6ers, including myself. Because I will be putting, this money isn't just going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to invest in this or whatever. This is going to be used to create change.
Barry's going to give all of his money to Roger buying ridiculous looking suits that don't make any sense for him to be wearing at all.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna have an ass clown suit for every day of the year, and Roger's gonna be rich, and that's gonna be the end of Barry's fucking money.
Ash has a serious question to ask. We'll wait for her to ask it. But for the most part, I think that you are going to see that, and I think that leftists should have reason to fret, not physically. Like they're not going to use it to build Trump's militia, as some of them have said. I think that they're going to use it to go against your leftist causes, right? This might go into a political campaign of some of these J6ers like, you know what, I'm going to run for office. So I think that's something. Last words on this, Shane, and we'll get to Ash's questions.
What was the question?
The question is that she's a bitch and she wants to throw shade.
She is gonna. She is.
I mean, what was your question, Enrique?
My question was, like, just generally, like I've already kind of caught your feelings here, but generally, what do you think? Because you might have to drop based on like this Obama precedent. You might have to drop like any tort claims or lawsuits. Let's also talk about the process. What do you think about the process of this? Like how it was created. So just general vibes on it.
I think that I think that a lot of people suffered, man. I think that I think it's time for a comeuppance. I think that people have hurt. People's families were destroyed. People's lives were ruined. People were passionate, and then the moment their rhetoric may have gotten wild and they may have got a little out of control. But I also think that it wasn't unjustified, man. I think that, you know, legitimately, if you know that they're stealing an election, they are subverting our whole democratic process, our whole electoral process, and I think that it calls for more than what happened on January 6th. I think that this is a start to a future where people can see that it is righteous, and this is what this country is founded upon: is standing for an ideal and something that you believe in, and being willing to lay down your life for that. It was like the four people that died at the Capitol on January 6th. I think that I pray to God that this doesn't destroy people's lives. I don't know that you can put a dollar amount on what we went through for years, man. I don't know that you can put a dollar amount on the solitary confinement time, the pain that our children suffered.
I was going to say that all the time taken away from the children too.
Yeah, I mean, this is not, it's a collateral damage. It's not just us, although it will be awesome. And I can't wait to see some of the stupid things that Jake Lang and Ronnie Sandlin and some of our other brothers and sisters do with this money. But I think that this is a time for us to heal. And I do think it is a call for us to be philanthropic. And I think that, stand in the gap. I got to start my dream organization while I was in prison for all this. So this birthed something in me. I'm thankful for this experience. It hurt. This is something that is crazy to me, like something that could hurt me more, to take me away from my children and destroy my life, could burst something that I'm so proud of and allow me to help people and impact other people's lives. I think that this is something that could change lives in a good way. And I think that I'm coming for the people who bet me a percentage of the winnings at the end of this.
Taking your money.
I'm coming. I think it was Kelly Meggs. I know some other people, maybe Ryan Nichols in there, bet me a percentage of the winnings at the end of it. I said, we're going to win something big at the end of this. And I told them that. But I'm hopeful for this is the beginning of the healing process. And I think that, I'm struggling. Like I sobered up like 8 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. And it's been the best move ever, but I have been a shell of myself since I've been home. And I haven't been the father that I needed to be to my children. And, I've been irresponsible and not making good decisions, but, I want us all to heal from this and move forward and look back in history. I don't necessarily think it's going to be fond memories, but I think that we have an opportunity to make a huge change. And, I'm thankful that this is coming down, but, yeah. That's all I got.
All right, so we'll end that segment on that note, and our final segment is Chud the Builder, and we'll kick off with Kim on Chud the Builder.
I know we want to try to keep this to not a ridiculously long brief, so I just want to. Well, I have a couple of articles coming out today on my news site, my news blog, Leftover News. You guys can follow that there, but. As far as the Chud the Builder situation goes, I'm going to keep it really short and sweet because this is all that really needs to be said about it in this context. Regardless about how you feel about his IRL stream, regardless about how you feel about the man, we don't protect our rights for people that we get along with all the time. We don't protect our rights for things that we would say ourselves. The whole point of freedom of speech is that we stand by it no matter who is saying what. And quite frankly, I see the people do the First Amendment auditing IRL streaming, and I understand that the equation to nuisance streaming, and I understand, you can't feel the way that you do about the Black community and look at the statistics on crime and look at just the culture and not understand what kind of repercussions you're inviting into your life. But then in this particular scenario, this man obviously knew who Chud was. Chud was there for court and not for confrontation. He was the one, the Fox guy was the one who initiated the confrontation. Chud, in the instance itself, was walking away from the situation only to be re-engaged again. They're trying to make an argument about how he reached for his gun in the police report. That's in the police report. Yeah, if a violent, angry sounding fella is following me from behind, yelling at me, you better believe I'm going to reach for my gun. I don't know in what universe that's not the right thing to do. But the facts are that I'm sorry, pregnancy brain, I really feel retarded right now. But Chud was hit on the back of the head first. That is what started the actual physical altercation. Chud wasn't following this guy around, screaming nig. I would argue that's not really what his content's about anyway. I would say that it comes after the initial contact, at least. But that's, again, I digress on that. In this specific situation, he didn't start the confrontation. He was aggressed first. He has a right to defend himself. And there's no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. And I just think it's so funny. Like, you can't like shoot at all of these like, left wing or BLM types, like, I'm not comparing him to Kyle Rittenhouse. I know a lot of people try to do that, but it's like Kyle fires into 3 people and 2 out of 3 of them are pedophiles. This guy was a wife beater. Like, these are the people who you're standing for in this situation, and it's not a matter of, oh well, fuck around and find out. This is a consequence of you screaming epithets at people who have low self-control. And no, it's not about any of that. And if you're not willing to stand for this, then you're willing to get your own rights taken. And I think that's a retarded stance to take as an American, especially if you're white or pro-white at all. You got to be tribing up because everyone else is tribing up, and there's no purpose in pretending that there's any moral superiority in that.
Okay, Patty. Oh, I'd like to get your counter. I'm guessing you're going to have a counter. You're muted.
He's gonna mute himself.
I'm definitely not tribing up.
Well, we don't want you in our tribe anyway, Patty.
Yes, you
You don't qualify.
The IQ level would go up instantaneously.
It really wouldn't.
What I'm saying is, I think that, look, man, the guy, he's going to get a trial. He deserves a trial, a fair trial. I don't know what happened that day. There's obviously a lot of conflicting accounts. I'm not, just because I'm a liberal, gonna sit here and say I think that guy's a piece of shit, but that does not mean he's guilty in this situation. Doesn't mean, if I were a right winger, I wouldn't assume he was innocent. I'm going to be down the middle on this and just say, look, he's going to get a trial. Now, his bail, some people think was excessive.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's $1.25 million. That isn't anything when you think of the fact that he's almost certainly going to get some right-wing fucking jerk-off to pay that for him. Like, that's just going to happen, right? He's not going to stay in fucking prison.
I think he's raised the money. I think the argument is if he can use that money. But go ahead.
And if he doesn't, fucking, Tucker Carlson will pay for it, or some other asshole. And whatever. That's fine, because that's the way the system works. That's legal. So you can he's going to get out of jail, and then he's going to have his trial. I'm not going to prejudge it because, first of all, I'm not on the fucking jury. And second of all, I wasn't there.
He doesn't believe in hypotheticals, folks.
I don't know what is going to happen there. I don't know. All I can say is that I'm not going to judge it. And I see all this stuff. Look, his content is disgusting, but Kim's right. That doesn't mean that he's guilty of a crime. He may be guilty of being a shithead, but that's not if that were, if you could be put in prison for that, Kim wouldn't be with us right now. So there's no point in any of that shit.
Give her life.
I'm just saying I'm not gonna make a big fucking deal about this. I didn't even know who this asshole was until this incident happened. I had no idea. Chud the fucking, but who the fuck is that? Well, I don't know. But so whatever. He's he's gonna make bail, and then he's gonna get a trial. And if he's guilty, then whatever. And if he's not, then I don't give a shit. Like, I find it really hard to give a shit about this, is basically what I'm saying. Like, I really don't care, It's like listening to Kim explain that beef that you have with that other fucking broad, whatever her name is, and for like an hour. And I'm like, I still, at the end of this, have absolutely no idea what happened. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever. I don't get this one either.
Low brain capacity, Patty. It's not.
Yes, that must be the reason. That's what I've been told since I was a kid, Yeah. Right.
Shane?
So I haven't. So having fatally shot my stepdad in self-defense, I believe there's a thing called mens rea. I believe, and it's like it's basically like your perception. I believe, I may be wrong. Somebody may correct me on this. I believe it's your perception of reality. Like if I believe my life is in danger, right, I have the right to defend myself with lethal force. it's my perception, right? If you have assaulted me, struck me, and maybe dazed me, knocked me almost unconscious, I have a right to defend myself, and it can be to legal, especially if it's in a potentially, like if you were able to knock me out and hit me in the head. Like if you hit me in the chest, probably not defensible with lethal force. However, you strike me in the head, which could daze me and make me incapacitated,
Right.
I am able to
The
defend
weakest part
myself.
of your skull too is back here.
Right, and so I think that I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't necessarily care for his content, but I do believe you should be able to defend yourself. He didn't kill the guy. I don't know why. He didn't kill the guy, did he?
No,
he
he
just
shot him in
somebody.
the stomach.
Yeah, you and for it's. I think this is what I believe is going to happen. I believe the process is the punishment. I believe he'll probably be found not guilty. Does it mean he's not a shithead? No, he's a shithead. But he is testing the First Amendment, whatever. It doesn't mean that people aren't. You can exercise your First Amendment right all you want until people get pissed off and they do something to you. Whatever, that's fine. I agree with that. But you put yourself in harm's way, and people are. It's going to happen eventually. But I just think that the process for him is going to be the punishment, whether it's monetary punishment. He's been in jail. You know, I saw him crying. It is going to be. I think this is where the FAA meets the FO. You fucked around. Now you're going to find out. Like, this is not because I've been in. I went to, I shot and killed my stepdad when I was 20 years old. I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but I killed my stepdad when I was 20 in self-defense. I was arrested for murder. I was on parole for attempted murder for a drive-by shooting that my friends did when I was in the car with them. Homicide detective comes to the house. My stepdad's dead. They wheel him out. And he's like, "Are you on parole or probation for anything?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm on parole." And he goes, "For what?" And I said, "Attempted murder." And he goes, "Shit." He goes, "Let's get you down to the homicide place, And he died. I shot him 11 times. I shot at him 13 times, hit him 11 out of 13 times in self-defense. He came at me with a shotgun, a 20 gauge shotgun. And, my mom was standing next to me. I shot him in self-defense. And everybody deserves their day in court. I think you provoke people using language that's not necessarily politically correct. It is free speech. It's protected under that. Doesn't mean it's protected under the law of the land or the streets. And so I don't think he should have been assaulted. I think it's gonna come to his day in court. And it should be interesting to see. But I believe.
Yeah, I honestly don't know the facts of the case, and other than what I read in like one article and just heard some audio.
Are you
So
you're not familiar with the guy at all?
I wasn't until I saw this stuff, and then I watched some of his content, and I was like, oh yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. But that does not mean anything.
Right.
Like
It
I'm
doesn't-
not
yeah.
taking that into account. That's got nothing to do with whether he's innocent or guilty in the situation. So I don't give a shit. Like so many of my friends, this has always driven me crazy about the J6 thing. Is that I've got some really, really lefty friends who I dearly fucking love, and who I've been friends with my whole life, who will tell me that they think Enrique should be in jail for the rest of his life, and they've never met him, and they really don't even know what happened that day.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? That's fucking ridiculous. Like, you can't have that fucking opinion if you really care about equal justice under the law. You just can't. So it really gets me angry because I'm like, I really respect a lot of these people. I think they're really good, decent human beings. And then they say some shit like that. And I'm like, you're a fucking bonehead. You know that? Like, that doesn't make sense. You got to stop that shit. So I'm not going to be one of those motherfuckers who's like, oh, well, this guy, because I think he is a piece of shit. And hearing some of the stuff he said, yeah, he is a piece of shit. And that fucking mustache, I think he should be sentenced for in the first place. But whatever. That's fine. So I just don't. I'm not going to say, hey, I know what happened that day because I wasn't there. I haven't seen video of it, and he hasn't had his trial yet. So we'll see what happens. And it's not up to me. It's up to the 12 people they're going to put on a jury. In where the fuck was it?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. All right. So the 12 people in Tennessee are going to get to decide this, not me.
Do you think? What do you think is going to happen? And I know it's a follow-up question, but I want to hear your take on it, Enrique. But what do you think is going to be the end result? I think would be a good.
Well,
after you answer
let me just go over how I feel about it, and then what I think the outcome is. So let's start with this. Look, I'm a free my nigger Chud guy, right? I think you could. And look,
Is there a website? We need
I
to
think
make that
all of us.
website, dude.
There is a web. I
I'm,
think there's a
I'm
few.
actually making the t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Hard R t-shirt. Um,
I love that.
so
I need one of those.
yeah. So what ends up happening here, and I think
1770
everybody,
shop, folks.
even Patty agrees here. Like, you shouldn't. There's the law of like there's the actual law, and then there's the law of the bar. You know, if you're at a bar and you say some stupid shit, like you're gonna get socked in the mouth, right? It's not legal. The person who socked you in the mouth might get arrested, but that's just what happens. Like if somebody tells me something at the bar or like hits on my chick or something, whatever, like I'm gonna knock him in the mouth. I'm
chew it out.
willingly knowing that that's illegal, right?
Yeah.
Now you have this guy that continuously goes to the bar and is slapping chicks' asses, right? But instead, obviously, he's going out and saying some word. And look, I don't give a shit if he's doing it for clicks or whatever. At the end of the day, free speech is free speech, and you shouldn't be assaulted for it, but it's going to happen. And in this case, it happened. And the video is hard to, you can't really tell by the video of what's going on because it starts late. But it seems like there's a consensus between like even the police officers that were there that he had his back turned towards him, which is a mistake by him. And he got socked, you know, and I believe he has the right to pull, fire, and even kill this person because you don't know what their intention is. One can say, well, he was looking for it. Well, that's possible. It doesn't matter.
No.
The problem is that he found it and he wasn't supposed to find it, and finding it is illegal for the person that's looking, you know, to hit.
Right,
to
can I
assault.
ask you a question though, man? Like so,
Go ahead.
if you somebody like me thinks like, hey, man, you shouldn't have a fucking a ratchet at the goddamn bar. You know what I mean? Like, don't bring that to the bar, right? You go to the bar, if someone starts some shit, you fight. But you don't bring a damn gun with you, because what you're gonna do, what everybody does when they have a gun and they get involved in a conflict, is they pull out the gun. Well, you shouldn't probably pull out the gun when someone's just being mouthy and maybe you need to whip someone's ass, or maybe you take a beating. But you don't pull out a fucking pistol when someone's not armed. And this is like, to me, this is just crazy. Like, don't bring a gun to the bar, and then don't pull it out. If somebody is just wanting to fist fight you, you just take your beating like a man, or you throw one.
Can I respond to this?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I have a very
But
serious response.
I think
to
all of us have a response to it, but I'll be brief. So we
Like,
can
whatever
get-
happened to just taking a beating without being a fucking pussy and pulling out a gun? Like, I don't know. Like,
well,
was
because
I raised in a different fucking country?
there's also historical context here. You know, because he does this, he gets these death threats. So he started carrying, right?
Right.
Just in case, because some of these are stream snipers
I have
too.
an archive
I
of
don't
the
know.
death threats if you want to take a scroll through them.
Which plays
think
into his mens
I-
rea, I think, as well, his state of mind. Like,
I think also his
They killed his fucking dog. P.S.
yeah. So
Who kills
there's
his
streams, and I don't know if this guy was a stream sniper. I think there was some messages in between. I don't know if it's attributed to this guy specifically, but he manages to fucking hit this dude that has like a fucking giant rap sheet. But Patty, if he wants to bring his gun, I mean,
Yeah, legally he can. I'm just saying it's really not a fucking good idea. And again, this has nothing to do with whether I would find him like guilty
Well,
in
obviously-
trial or not. I'm just saying,
obviously, it's
just
not
common
in this,
sense.
in this
Like, don't-
particular case and how the events played out. Yeah, it wasn't a good idea because now you're in jail.
I'm
you
just
know,
Well, the
but
problem-
whatever
if there's
happened
another
to just fighting
situation,
somebody, man? Like, why is
He
this
was
so-
okay. So the problem was this wasn't a situation where he was even out on the streets doing interviews. He was at the fucking courthouse answering for another bullshit charge that should have never happened. And this isn't in the context of him just going up to people, which is what everyone wants to argue about. But this had nothing to do with it. He was there for court. this guy recognized Chud, not the other way around. So it's not.
How are you going to walk around calling yourself Chud, by the way? I mean, seriously, like, what the fuck is wrong with people at this point? Like, is your generation so fucked up that this is what's going on? Chud the Builder? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's like a nickname we would give somebody in like 1995 who was like a fat fucking douchebag who everyone hated. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck are you voluntarily calling yourself Chud? That's insane.
Whatever. Name selection.
Spoken like a leftist.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You fucking know it's funny. But,
I mean, and also saying what happened to the good old days where people just fight it out from someone who's been bitching out of a fight for the last half a year. Is
oh,
real.
please. You know damn well I'm training to be a cage fighter. It's
So when's
it's
it
a
gonna
long
happen?
process.
You can fight him.
Long process, and I'm getting there. But no, I'm just like you go and like how that fight started is all going to be adjudicated in court. Like there's no way that's going to be like the main idea about it. But I'm just like, if he didn't bring his gun with him in the first place, we wouldn't be having this fucking conversation. He might have whipped that kid's ass, or he might have got his ass whipped. But we wouldn't be having a conversation about $1.2 million in bail, and we wouldn't be worried about whether this guy was being, was being fucked over by the system or not.
I mean, that's kind of
don't
like
bring a gun to the bar, man. Like you don't bring a gun to the bar, do you?
Was he at the bar? Is that where he was?
I can't
no.
carry.
Whatever,
I can't
sorry.
carry her. Yes, I would bring a gun to a bar.
Well,
Yeah,
so
you can't carry shit. You're
Because
not even
other
allowed to carry your own
people,
balls
because
to
other people, if I could, because other
Yeah.
people carry.
No, you're right.
guns
It's the
to bar.
courtroom. I'm sorry. I misspoke.
can I
But
so
why are
in
you
the
bringing?
situation?
There
in
are
the
bailiffs at
situation-
the court. Why do you need a gun? You know?
Because they got guns.
Yeah.
Because the bailiff got guns.
Because
We
you're
all
allowed to
got
carry a
guns,
gun,
you know?
and there's a Second Amendment, and you're allowed to carry
This
a
is
firearm.
America. I don't need to answer stupid questions
Again,
about why I'm carrying a gun.
Tennessee, probably the judges.
No.
are,
Again,
too.
you can do that. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, why do you? There's a lot of things you can do.
Well, his
that you probably
justification is
should.
going to be the death threats that
Because
he's
he's getting
receiving,
hundreds,
Right,
if not
so
thousands,
then-
of death threats all the time.
which plays
I don't get
into his
hundreds,
mens
but I
rea.
get a death
To
threat.
kill his
like, once a
dog.
week. Yeah.
Well, this is all going
Yeah,
to
but
play
you
into
always
his,
come to your
mens
house
rea.
to kill your fucking pet, Patty.
Yeah. So what I would say too is he was struck from behind.
Yes.
If he has these death threats, if he has documentation of all this stuff, his dog was recently killed. It shows like a pattern of why he would be the state of mind, which is important in this situation. He was struck from behind, which could be incapacitating, which could leave you defenseless. So for him to turn and shoot, like I didn't see the exact clip, so I'm assuming that he turned and shot.
The thing I
clip
would say is
doesn't actually show the
I
shooting.
start shit with people all the time on the internet.
Right.
So I recognize the fact that I'm going to get threats. People are going to fuck with me.
Yeah.
I chose to do that. I didn't this isn't happening to me because
Doesn't mean you don't
I
have a
didn't
right
do
to
it.
defend yourself, though, Patty.
No, it does. But what I'm saying is defending myself, I'm going to choose to defend myself with myself, not with a weapon, because
Well,
I
when
understand
someone
that
shows
I
up
could
with a
put
gun,
myself in a position. I could put myself in a position, even though I know how to use firearms. If I did get in a situation where I ended up shooting somebody, that I could ruin my own life and my family and all this other shit. So I choose not to do that, right? I put myself in a position where somebody might fuck with me, and I rely on myself to defend myself, not a weapon, because I just don't think it's worth it. And I think that, again, it's not a crime. He didn't commit a crime by carrying a gun. But I think it probably wasn't the best fucking idea at all. And I bet you if you asked him and he was being honest, he would say, I wish I didn't have a fucking gun on me that day.
I think he'd call you retarded.
So Patty's taking the position that he is the weapon.
I
Yeah.
am the weapon. You ever see that movie, The Perfect Weapon, with Jeff Speakman back in the 80s? It was wonderful. Great movie. Yeah, I
Say
am
the
the perfect
Steven
weapon.
Seagal movie.
Yes. yes.
I am
Well,
the
Jeff Speakman was like an off-brand Steven Seagal. It was like
Oh,
not
Jesus.
quite. We couldn't afford Steven Seagal, so we got Jeff Speakman. Yeah.
All right, guys, we've been going on for an hour and a half.
There you go.
Is there anything else you guys want to add to anything? Any comments?
I just want to say his mens rea is going to play a huge factor in this. Like, if if he has received death threats, somebody murdered his dog, like it's going to all play into it. You have a right to defend yourself. They struck him from behind, like unbeknownst. If it would have been like, hey, we're squaring up, and then he gets hit, that's not defensible. But they struck him from behind. He could say, I don't know if they hit me with something. I didn't know if I was going to black out. You have a right to defend yourself with lethal force if you're in that situation. So I'm curious to see, but again, I think the process is going to be the punishment for him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Oh, and just prediction. I think he gets acquitted. I think he gets acquitted.
Agreed.
He's white. He'll get acquitted.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. White flower. All right. So, any plugs or anything? Shane, where could people find you? Where could they support you?
Go to standinthegap.foundation if you want to help us with our nonprofit. And, I would like to say the future's looking good, man. I'm happy I'm happy for some people to get some compensation for this. I'm not saying it's going to heal anything. I'm just saying it'll be nice to get a comeuppance. So, but thanks for having me on, guys.
J6ers don't spend it on hookers and blow. Kim, anything coming up? Anything?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a live stream probably tomorrow. It depends on how I feel. It's either tomorrow or Friday, or tomorrow and Friday. I'm going to be going over the last of some Melanie Mac stuff. I'm going to do a review of the not Lauren Southern. Why did I say Lauren Southern? I'm retarded. Sydney Watson. Yeah, that bitch. We're going to go over her case with the legal mindset videos, and we're going to talk about Chud the Builder. So tune in for that Wednesday and Friday, probably. If I'm feeling this retarded tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, but we'll see. In the meantime, there's a bunch of new articles going live on my website today, leftover.news. Go ahead and check those out. And I would say make sure you check out the Chud articles. They link his Give, Send, Go if you have the ability to help him out with bail and helping him with his kid and stuff like that. That would be greatly appreciated. And that'll be all. If you want to support me, you can always subscribe to my stuff, but just stay tuned and watch my X account there, which I changed halfway through because I'm not in fact the America Rise.
Yeah. So what we're saying here at the War Boys Studios is that Chud the Builder is the modern day Rosa Parks.
Yeah. Let white people
Civil
say
rights.
Let
Civil
us say
rights.
the N-word.
Civil rights icon Chud the
The
Builder.
whites icon.
Patty.
Listen, before Patty goes, there was this comedy sketch a while back. Donald Glover did a comedy sketch called Weirdo, and you cannot find it anywhere on the internet. It is completely scrubbed, and I think it's because he does this joke where he talks about how white people need to start saying the N-word, and he's like, I'm sorry, whites, we're going to lose some of you in the process, but you just got to commit. Like, here we are, and I wish I could clip that, but I think they considered it would ruin his career, even though he is one of the N-words.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, go ahead, Patty. I'm sure what you have to say is much more interesting.
So, this weekend I'm going to post a video, a review on the Kona Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a, which is a beach cruiser bike named after the state fish of Hawaii. And it's being delivered today, and I'm going to be able to go and give it a ride on Friday and do a review. So we'll post a video review on Friday. So that's going to be really exciting. It's you'd like it, man. It's kind of like a cholo bike. It's big handlebars, moto style bars, 29-inch wheels and whatnot. It's going to be fun. So that's what I got going on.
Are we going to get any more Pizza Nigga reviews with you and Bobby?
Bobby's mad at me. He's
I know he
furious
is.
with me.
I talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, he's fucking furious.
Even better.
I told him to go
now?
fuck himself because he was acting like an idiot. And anyway, but I did send him the videos
basically.
of the last two restaurants we did, and he's going to edit them, which should be hilarious because he's not very good at that. So this will be fun. Bobby's going to post some videos on Jeff's in Providence and DePaul Mary's Bakery in Providence, and we'll see how fucked up they end up looking. But yeah, I gave him the raw footage. We'll see what kind of a mess he makes out of it.
Oh, God. All right. So for me, I'm going to keep this nice and simple. Follow me at Noble1. Please make sure you hit the post notification button at the top of my profile and the profile of at Warboys Studios. And if you want to support me, pre-order my book at tariobook.com. That's tariobook.com. Do I have it here? Yes, I do. tariobook.com right here at the bottom. Go ahead. Help me out. Help me get my story out by purchasing a pre-sale. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys. Thank you. And we are waiting for our Trump bucks.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.